How's it going, everybody? Spencer here with a little pre-Christmas, sadly kind of a negative-focused video. Today talking all about the next Persona title releasing, which, as most of you hopefully know, is Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. The game got announced just a couple of weeks ago at the Game Awards, and is releasing March 2022 worldwide on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So, in this most recent Famitsu, one of the creatives and the producers of Ultimax, Kazushi Wada, had made a comment on the game, and a lot of it just really rubbed me the wrong way, which I really wish wasn't the case. So, basically, in this recent, more of a statement than an interview, they were talking about the game in terms of what led to this title being developed, and what we had found out was basically through the result of Persona 4 Golden selling so well, they thought, okay, well, let's bring the next title following Golden is obviously going to be Arena and Ultimax, so it makes the most sense, just bring Ultimax with the story DLC. And then because of that being on Steam's success, they decided, okay, well, let's work with getting this game on to as many platforms as possible, so they go with Steam, Switch, and PlayStation. Makes a lot of sense. Now, Wada talks a little bit about memories in terms of how Wada is personally a very big fan of fighting games, and I have nothing but respect for Wada in terms of like what he did as a producer. Everyone involved with both Arena games just did such a great job on the title, executing everything, and while it definitely was never kind of perfect in terms of, I mean, just looking at the fact that the arcade version 2.0 never came to consoles, and this is even commented upon, how Wada actually talked about back in 2015 wanting to bring that update to consoles. It was one of those things of, well, it's out of my hands, I can't do anything, which kind of is like a half-truth, just in the sense of like, did he want the arcade update to be on consoles with PlayStation 3 and 360? 100%. I totally believe him. But what was happening was basically the game didn't sell tremendously well, and they probably didn't want to have to pay Arc System Works the money to go back and patch that version in for consoles for a game that was relatively popular, but was not going to probably make make its money back in terms of just putting in this substantial amount of work into a patch for two platforms. But we are not here to talk about patches, we are here to talk about delays, or depending on how I talk about this video, how after this recent article, I think that this game needs to be delayed or pushed back, or something needs to happen, which makes me so sad to say. Because I am so excited to play Ultimax, I'm so excited to get more people to play Ultimax and to check this game out. But we are now looking at a situation where I have so many questions, and the things that they finally have commented on, such as netcode, is just making me scratch my head more and more and more. So, obviously, we have got confirmation this is version 2.5 from the arcades, now going to be on consoles and PC. That's a big deal. Really excited about that. But there's specifically two quotes in this article that really rubbed me the wrong way. And this was mostly coming off of the stance of that Wada said, I wanted this to be the definitive version of Persona 4 Arena, or the Persona 4 Ultimax series as it's known in Japan. So, I'm all for making the most definitive versions of games come out there. Add all the DLC, throw in as many bells and whistles, patch notes, adjustments. The more the merrier for a re-release. Like, when it comes to a re-release, the more you're adding in or the more you're doing, the better. Like, it's just like, because you're trying to sell a game you've ostensibly already released once to hopefully the same audience and attracting new audience. So making something the definitive version, hence why you see a lot of games, if they're remasters, are usually just called Definitive Edition. Weird note that this one is just called Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Like, there's no all-in-one edition, there's no like 2.5 Special Climax Ultimate Edition, like it's just called the original title in both Japan and America, which I think is really, really weird. But either way, that's nitpicking. So one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way about him viewing this is I want to make this title the definitive version of Persona 4 Arena was, okay, you're there with the gameplay in terms of getting the arcade designs and all that stuff there. Like, you're doing a good job in terms of the base game. You're going to have all the characters, for the most part, all the DLC. But even in this quote that Wada says, and the ability to enjoy almost all of the gameplay, almost all of the gameplay in there, We don't know what that almost is. That could just be, oh, there's some aspects of Arena's story, or that could be going back to what I said in my last video of, hey, maybe those online lobby menus aren't there for everybody. Maybe some concessions had to be made. Maybe we had to cut some stuff out. So obviously, if you're looking for just the fighting game and the story, that's all there. But we don't know what's cut out. And this game's 3 months out. So that's really, really disappointing that, like, just tell us. Rip off the Band-Aid now. I promise we will get over it the closer we get to launch. We don't want to find out as close as possible to launch that something that people might really love, like those online lobbies, aren't there for everybody. Now, having a producer basically say, hey, not everything is going to be in this remaster, that would normally not be cause for saying, hey, delay this game. My whole point for this video when I saw it last night was the fact that, thankfully, he was at least aware enough to comment on rollback netcode. Unfortunately, the answer left a lot to be desired. Basically, Wada had said, we are aware that fans want rollback netcode functionality for the online play. Hopefully, players in the community members will be able to get it in a patch. Basically saying, hey, we're not committing to anything. There's no rollback netcode when this game launches, and we are not promising that it will come at all. We're just saying it could come as a future update. Now, my thing is this. How are you going to say that a feature may or may not come into your game that is heavily important to the longevity of its online, and the fact that you're like, hey, this is the definitive version of this game, but if you guys really want this feature, maybe we'll patch it. Because, like, you want to know what the last time you said maybe was? Back in 2015 when you said, I would really like to patch in the arcade ports to PS3 and 360, and nothing came of it because it didn't sell that well. So, I don't like this whole thing of, like, saying, hey, I hope you guys buy this game, because then we might patch in rollback netcode. Instead, why don't you just delay the game and put in rollback netcode 2 or 3 months later? Now, I'm aware that there's no way that this game gets delayed at all. Obviously, it's releasing before a financial quarter is ending. This game has been done practically forever. It's basically just been getting tiny tweaks and tweaks behind. You can see the Steam database to check things out. My thing is this, though. It's just like, if you really care about this game and you really want to make this launch the best launch it can possibly be, make sure you are putting everything in that game you can at launch, and that's going to make it be the strongest, most powerful launch it can be. Because I'm going to be honest, when you're telling us, the community, the people who follow the news for this game and are following every little bit of info that comes out from this, it's really disheartening 3 months in advance to just know, hey, this feature's not coming. We're not promising it's coming, but I hope you buy it so that it shows Atlus that we can patch this in and it's financially viable. So, like, people out there, just want to let you know, 100% there is no rollback netcode at launch as of this time. It's really disheartening. Obviously, I'm still going to buy the game because I want to support it and review it for the channel and the podcast, but it's one of those things that, hey, any bigwig person out there, I know you're probably not watching this video. If you really want this to be the definitive version of Persona 4 Arena, push it back. Like, not only would delaying the game be a really good sign of good faith in terms of, hey, you know what? We heard the fans. We heard that you guys wanted online rollback netcode, so here we go. We're going to give this to you. And not only that, so we need to push back the game to implement it correctly. But so that everyone doesn't get disappointed, we have a beta of it ready. Maybe it's just on PC. Obviously, console betas are a little bit messier than that. But then it's just going to be like, okay, hey, we're going to do a beta in March and not release the game in March so you guys can test it out, let us know what you think. Hopefully then by summer we can get the game out with the full release. All the patches are already done, cooked in, and you're going to get the best game possible at launch. Now, I'm not saying if a game has to be patched, it should get delayed. I'm just saying in this instance of a re-release, this doesn't make it look good. This isn't enticing anyone that, hey, this game might get rollback. You just got to pick it up to hopefully make it happen. So, Wada, I really appreciate your comments, at least in this Famitsu. Please, somebody at Atlus, just come on out here. Give us all the good news and all the bad news. It is so weird how this is trickling out so slowly with this game so close to release, really, when you think about it, even though we just now found out about it. So, unfortunately, my take on this, I definitely think that this should be pushed back. I mean, you look at how many fighting games are going to be coming out even next year, or even just kind of talked about right now, like looking at even KOF 15 and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be a competitive year for fighting games no matter what, so why not put your best foot forward. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Do you think the next Persona game should be delayed due to all this? Am I just being a big overdramatic crybaby? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate just anyone listening to me and giving me a chance to kind of start this conversation, especially so close to the holidays. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It really, really helps out. Or just letting me know what you think in the comments below. Either way, have a good rest of your holidays, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.